In this video, I want to look at what penguins were misclassified by our logistic regression classifier. And you should imagine this classifier, since there are only two predictors and its linear decision boundaries, you should imagine this is not very prone to overfitting in this case. But on the other hand, you should expect it might be prone to underfitting. So let's try to see which ones were misclassified. And so would it make sense to do this on, for example, DF Sim 2? Hey, that would not make sense because here there is a predicted column, but there's no true column. Like if we go back up to the true data, there is no true penguin in our data set for 32 by 13. Whereas we do have a prediction for 32 by 13, but there's no way to say if that prediction is correct or not. So we need to go back to the original data frame, DF. And here we do have true values at the expense of not having as many pairs of bill length, bill depth. Okay, great. So what I want to know is, let's go down here. I want to know, is the species, is that equal to the prediction? And we can see all 10 of these that I'm looking at are correct. And let's just go ahead and add a new column to the data frame. And let me call it DF. How about correct? And I'm going to fill it in like at the top and the bottom, the parts we can see here, it's going to be all trues, but there will be some falses in there. And so we should already be able to visualize this. So let's go ahead and let me copy my Altair code from up here where we were showing the actual data set. And so here, instead of using the color, well, maybe I'll first just display it so I can look at it at the same time. And then here, instead of displaying the color for the actual value, let's check, was it correct or not? And so the only ones that are incorrect are these blue ones. And I find it a little uncomfortable to have like yellow and blue as these colors. Like I'd sort of rather they be totally different. So let me show you how we can customize these colors. And I want to show you two different ways to customize it. First way is going to be using alt.condition. And so what's going to go in here is I want to say, if the value is true, then I want to color it black. Otherwise, I want to color it red. So let me show you how we can do that. So here is the syntax. It's a new type of syntax in Altair. We use alt.datum.correct. Okay, and so you should think of that as holding one of these two values, true and false. And so if maybe I could just put that there, I'm not sure, but the way I know is to do equals equals true. Let's try it without that and see if it works. And so if it's true, then let's use alt.value. So I think black would be a good color for this. And otherwise, if it's incorrect, I think red would be a good color for this. So let's see if this works. Okay, perfect. So I was originally going to put in an equals equals true, but now we've seen that I don't need that. Okay, good. So that is one way. Let me show you one more way this way only works if there are just two possibilities that you want to specify. Like here, I'm just specifying black if the correct value is true, red otherwise. So let me show you a way that's a little more flexible and that works even if there are, for example, 3 or 20 classes. So instead of alt.condition, I'm going to put alt.color. And let's just start with this. So that's back to the original picture. And then here I'm going to put scale equals alt.scale, just like I did for specifying that there shouldn't be a 0. It still looks exactly the same. But now here is the difference. I'm going to say the domain in this case. And so this has to be the values in the correct column. So if I look at df.correct.unique, okay, true and false are the values. And notice that they're not strings. Okay, there are no quotation marks around it. So the domain is going to be true and false. So only thing it did was it like swapped the order. So it always gives the first thing to this blue color and the second thing to this orange color by default. So the only thing that changed so far was those colors. So the order of those colors. Maybe I should leave it up here so we can also see what it looks like without any specifications. So let me put color correct up here. Okay, so in this case, it was starting with false and it was starting with blue. In this case, when I told it explicitly that the domain began at true, then it started with true as blue, okay, instead of starting with false as blue. Okay, perfect. And so, but the whole point is I want to change the colors. So I'm also going to specify what are the range of these colors, and the order very much matters. The range is going to be true, I want to correspond to black, and false, I want to correspond to red. Okay, so this would also work if your domain had 30 different values here and you listed 30 different colors. So if you want to have like really fine-grained control over what colors are shown, you can use some method like this in Altair.